Hi, these are your short and sweet January 2013 videos, and I want to tell you how to get the most of the astrology trends for the future month for January 2013. Always make sure you check at least your ascendant sign, and for the full prognosis, check this ascendant, moon, and sun sign. Most people always check their sun sign only, not realizing that actually it's not the most astrologically correct one. The most astrologically correct and personal sign is always the ascendant, which is determined by the exact time of your birth, the minute, the hour. And then comes the moon sign, which especially, particularly women, answer much more. For instance, last month I've experienced the prediction and the trends much more of my moon sign. Women, the moon is a female planet, and a lot of women connect a lot to their moon sign prediction. And if you don't know what your ascendant sign or moon sign astrologically are, you can go to my website astrolada.com, where I have a birth chart calculator. You need to know the time of your birth, or at least approximately, to find out those two signs and their degrees. Write them down and make sure, if you don't have time to listen to the whole prediction for the moon, sun, and ascendant sign, then at least listen to the whole prediction for the ascendant sign always, and then to the second part of the moon and the sun prediction when I mentioned particular degrees of the moon, of the moon, the ascendant, or when I mentioned particular days of birth which correspond to the sun position. If you hear your exact day of birth or position of the ascendant of the moon, or of the moon, like say 20 degrees Leo or something, if you hear these degrees mentioned, then you will definitely feel what is happening to you, what I'm talking about this month, because these are based on transit, and transits never fail. They're very specific. Even if the overall prognosis, the first part of the prediction of your sign, is not, you don't identify so much with, if you hear your exact degree of the ascendant or the moon or the day of the birth, you will definitely identify with the influences that I'm talking about during this period. So please, if you have more specific questions which those videos cannot answer, then you're welcome to contact one of my psychics or astrologers, which I've selected from all over the world for you, which are fantastic, carefully selected, and they can give you sweet and short answers for 10 to 15 minutes. You can have readings with them, or even shorter. So there is an answer for everything you're looking for here. Gemini ascendant, sun or moon. January 2013 is activating, first of all, your 8th house. Especially if your ascendant is in Gemini, you might feel it more strongly. But for moon and sun as well. And 8th house is the house of our vulnerabilities, weaknesses of character, all the things that undermine us, all the things that basically make us feel like we're out of control, or that rule our world, like habits, overpowering. It might be even addictions, or anything which actually is like a weakness in our character, which make us not the full person that we want to be, the default line in us. And when planets are there, usually those qualities in us get intensified. The darker, the more negative side of us, or the more conflicting side of us. There might be like an inner battle happening within you, more conflicting influences within you, or the more intense and obsessive nature of you comes to the surface. So some of your addictions or some of your habits which are not so healthy can especially feel stronger during this period, intensified. But it's done so you can confront those more negative energies, and you can get some grip on them. So some of your more extreme tendencies can register during January, but that's nothing bad, I mean, it's gonna last just for a month, and you might feel just a bit more emotional, a bit more intense, more extreme. And the best way to deal with those is to confront them, not to hide from them. And it's a period also where it's required that you open yourself, that you're not afraid to feel vulnerable. Don't be afraid. Open yourself. Learn to trust others during this period. 8th house is the house of trusting, of opening yourself, and of creating intimacy with another. Because only when you're not afraid to hide your vulnerabilities, then you can create a proper intimacy with another. So those planets can help you create much more deeper, intense connection with another person right now. On a Monday level, 8th house rules resources that others can bring us, whether it's emotional, financial. So for some of you, it might be a period when your partner is particularly helpful for you financially, or with resources, or with emotional support, or might even bring you some financial presence, or help, or support, or some unexpected financial support from other people. Even if it's not from your partner, maybe from government, or maybe suddenly, some taxes are returned to you, or, maybe some little inheritance. Well, I wish that for everyone, but it's not a given. And just sudden falls and windfalls, so to speak. So it's not such a bad house overall, but it's on the psychological level, it rules our more deeper seated fears and weaknesses which might be confronted with now. And so we don't feel so scared from them when you face them. After that, and especially if you're able to overcome them, but it's not a given with such a short transit, but you just be aware that these influences will be around. And Mars is in your ninth house. So Mars is a very energizing planet. The ninth house is the higher mind. So your mind might be very active, maybe very curious to expand itself, to learn something new, to especially in matters of the higher mind, which is especially good for people who are in university or studying something. Studying, and it's especially good for doing projects in your university or any educational projects. It's a good period. It's also great for studying anything spiritual or anything which expands the mind. And also travel can be good, but be careful if you're going on long travels, because Mars is a bit of an aggressive planet, so you don't have some accidents there. But if anything, you will just be more energized and more active, or when it comes to any travels, and otherwise, it's quite a positive house. The ninth house, as I said, it's education, it's learning, it's maybe traveling, it's expanding your mind, it's being more active in your mind, in your higher mind, and planning ahead for the future. And I want to give you specific days now. Those of you who have their ascendant in 6 or 7 degrees of Gemini, give or take 1 or 2 degrees, so 5 degrees, 6, 7, 8 degrees, maybe 9 degrees of Gemini will feel it. All those of you who are born on the 27th, 28th, or 29th of May, give or take another day or two, say 26th till the 30th of May, maybe 30, maybe 31st. Is there 31st of May? Yeah, you have Jupiter influence, so you're the lucky ones of all the Gemini, because Jupiter is the most expansive, the most opportunity-bringing planet. It is guaranteed to bring. It happens once in a lifetime. Sorry, once in 12 years that Jupiter passes through you, either your ascendant, sun, or moon. So use the opportunities that come to you. Life will open some opportunities to you. Depends how open you are to welcome those. Because if sometimes life can throw you 2 or 3 different chances, opportunity for work, and the person might just reject them. So just be open to whatever comes to you right now, because it's divinely inspired. It's something from your higher self as a gift. Or if you've been working on something and you've been trying to, if you've been working on some project, Jupiter will now help you fulfill it, open doors for this project, or even in love and romance. If you have your ascendant there, or sun or moon, doesn't matter. It can bring also love and very happy experiences in love. It can be in any area of your life that Jupiter inspires you and brings opportunities now, and brings long lusted for and desired outcomes, or something that you really need. Maybe not something that exactly you want, but something that you really need, that's gonna put you on the right path. That's going to bring the opportunities which are needed to make you the person you're supposed to be, to fulfill your spiritual mission, to fulfill your life mission. But usually Jupiter is planet of success, of optimism, of faith, and because of this increased vibration that you have while Jupiter is around, you tend to, of this belief, you tend to attract the things that you desire during this period. So please let us know what exactly Jupiter is bringing you. How is it making you expand your consciousness? How is it making you feel more positive, more inspired? And sometimes it's not even something on the outside that it brings. It's just like an inner uplifting feeling, and raising of the what is called raising the vibration and optimism, and kind of feeling of connectedness and inspiration that it brings. So thank you so much, and please share with us what's happening in your life.